the justification of Israel as something that coming from above. For me, it's not quite the case. I don't think it's a very good justification.
I do argue that Zionism and even the current state of Israel, and even you yourself, you will not be a Jew today if your ancestors didn't kept the connection to the Torah and praying towards Jerusalem, to the same thing that I was saying before, the 5 goals of Zionism, eventually to come back to our land and reestablish the temple.
Kirill. Yeah.
Как дела?
Very good. Thank you. What's your name?
Russia or Ukraine?
I'm from Russia.
Nice to meet you. I'm Inon. I'm from Israel.
You're from Israel. Whereabouts?
Jerusalem.
From Jerusalem.
So what is your position regarding, by the way, you want Bamba?
I'm good, thank you. I have a chewing gum in my mouth.
That doesn't go well with this.
Wouldn't go well.
So what do you think about what's written here?
Well, here we wouldn't have a discussion because I'm very pro-Israeli myself. So
Hashem, so go away. We already agree about Muslim.
Yeah, but I specifically I wanted to talk maybe about not about your position, since I can really truly relate with it, but in terms of your experience defending this position on the campus. Well, okay. I studied in UCL. This is KCL. A few weeks ago, I've been on the protest here, where. Well, unlike many other UCL protests, both positions.
If I may ask, are you a Jew?
I'm Jewish on my father's side. I lived in Israel for a few years.
Baruch Hashem, you are a Jew. For me, you are 100% Jew. I don't. It's a lineage for me. Just important to clarify, you know. So what is my experience, you mean?
Your experience with this table, with this flag, that, let's face it, specifically on more left-wing campuses, is not a very popular flag to see.
Interesting question, I must say. First, it's my second time in the UK after I became more publicly speaking. The first time was 1 month ago. Actually, the first time I came here, I had actually quite nice conversations. I mean, depends if people, want to engage and have a discussion. Even debate. Only one lady that was very progressive, she came and she didn't even want to have a conversation, she wanted just to bark.
Okay.
So it wasn't really a discussion. But I find that a lot of people, when they come here, they sit on this chair and they have a conversation, even from a place of disagreements. I can agree with some things, I can disagree about something, but most of the time was relatively nice. I didn't really yet encounter hatred in too much venomous way, but it will come. Because I know what my colleagues experience, obviously. And for Jews that live in the UK, especially Zionist Jews, it's not a comfortable situation for sure. I would just say that in Israel I feel very, very blessed and very, very confident, even in time of war.
All right, understood. How do you formulate what is Zionism for you?
Great question again. Zionism for me is the fulfillment of the aspirations of our people. Now the question is, what are the aspirations of our people? What are our goals? And I will ask you a question now. What is the goals of our people? What is the goals of the Jewish people, in your opinion?
The goals of Jewish people in relation to Israel would be to have their country where they can build their society, where they can exercise their way of life in security, and hopefully build positive, mutually beneficial relations with the other worlds. First of all, with their neighbors around them.
That's it? I would argue that it's a partial list.
What would you add?
I will add that all of our goals come from one source.
Okay.
Do you want to guess?
I would assume that you're insinuating the source from above. No, the God Almighty.
The Torah?
Okay.
Yes.
Is it?
The vision of the prophets of Israel, yes. And I argue that there are 5 goals to our people. One is to engender the exiles.
Right.
The second is to restore our sovereignty. The third is to restore our sovereignty from the river to the sea, and include also the non-Jews under Jewish Israeli rule. The fourth is the engender of the outcasts of Israel, which means Jews that went away from the nation of Israel during the years. I'm talking about thousands of years ago. And by the way, I would also argue that a lot of Palestinians today have Jewish roots that converted to Christianity or Islam. And the fifth goal is to rebuild our temple to be a house of prayer to all nations. and by that to end the wars in the world. And it's exactly what's mentioned in the words of our prophets. So if I see Zionism as something that goes in stages, in steps, we completed number 1 and 2 in a way, we're now stuck at number 3. So we have more things to aspire for. And I believe Zionism is a combination of ancient sources from the past to implement them in the present in a view towards the future. That's what Zionism is to me. It's like 3 compasses of the past, the present, and the future. And to go towards the future, not with the head against the wall and to bash our head against a brick wall, but to find where we can do the necessary steps in order to go one step further towards the goal. What do you think?
I understand personally, I cannot agree with all of the points.
בטח, בשמחה.
נתן 2?
3 אפילו, 3.
תסתכל על הבן אדם, אז זה 3, הוא רצה לקחת,
מפרידים
קח
עכשיו.
קופסה אחי, מה?
בכיף.
בסדר.
אתה מדבר עברית.
Personally, I do not fully agree with some of the points that you mentioned. First of
enough.
all, I am strictly non-religious. I see
hear you.
in general the justification of Israel as something that coming from above. For me, it's not quite the case. I don't think it's a very good justification. At least I don't find it this way. Another thing that you mentioned is from the river to the sea,
Right.
Israel will be. What if there are people there who do not want to be under Israel? What are we going to do with them?
Great question.
How
I will give you an answer to that. Number 1, I think that I respect your position. By the way, me myself, I'm not religious, making all of the mitzvot, but I am very, very believer.
Okay.
I do put feeling every day. I do believe, and I do also help to create settlements and help the settlement enterprise. That I assume that you do not support that too much, right?
Say again?
I assume that you do not support too much the settlement enterprise.
As a part of my army service, I've been doing certain shmirot in different settlements without really protesting. Right now, I do have conflicting ideas
Okay, fair enough, legitimate.
about settlements.
Legitimate. But I do argue that Zionism and even the current state of Israel, and even you yourself, you will not be a Jew today if your ancestors didn't kept the connection to the Torah and praying towards Jerusalem, to the same thing that I was saying before. The 5 goals of Zionism, eventually to come back to our land and reestablish the temple. Because it is intertwined between religion and politics and identity. So I argue that you cannot really differentiate or separate the religion from our identity as a people. So I believe, and I also argue that every Jew have one way or the other, the element of being unique, like, to be strong in our Torah, connection to the entire land of Israel, to want to be distinct from the other nations, and the other quality is to be like all nations, like a nation like all nations, to be more connected to the cultures of the West, more to imitate different cultures, so on and so forth, to be connected to the international community, basically. It's something that we need to find a balance in the end of the day. But bottom line, I will say that we need to have a conversation between Jews like you and Jews like me. You are Zionists as well, but you believe in Zionism in a more a narrow way, I assume.
Possibly, yeah.
Right? I believe in Zionism in a more broad way. Regarding the Palestinians and the non-Jews in our land, I believe that first we need to clarify to ourselves what we want and radiate that will towards them, because now they see us and they see that we don't have clarity what we want from ourselves as people.
All right.
And they have a lot of clarity what they want from themselves towards us. They want either to annihilate us, kill us, rule over us, or deport us back to where we allegedly came from. And you and I know that we originally came from the land of Israel. I mean, even your family in the diaspora.
Probably many, many, many years ago they did.
But it's relevant until today. I claim it's relevant until today. And people without a story are not people. Remember that. So I just claim that once we have more clarity, before we talk about peace with our neighbors, once we have more clarity between ourselves as Jews, whether we are secular, religious, even atheists, about what we want from ourselves as people, what is our goals, our aspirations, we should not even expect from our neighbors or even our enemies to have any kind of alliance with.
Understand. I'm sorry, I will really have to go now because I'm meeting a friend. I do have one last question.
The answer is no. Just
Please. Which party would you vote for on the next election?
probably Ben-Gvir.
Ben-Gvir.
Yeah, even though I don't agree with everything he's saying, but I'm much more connected, obviously, to the religious Zionist sector. But I do believe that they need to add to themselves more Jewish universal approach towards the non-Jews in our land, from the river to the sea.
All right. Understood. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. It was great talking to you.
My pleasure.
Take care.
If that's all right, yeah, I'll take one. I'll
Take
invite
care
my friend
too.
as well. Tודה רבה.